This is episode 19. Welcome, fellow anglers, to the Good Karma Sport Fishing Podcast. I am Captain Ryan Van Fleet, your host here in the Florida Keys. Each week, I bring you fishing tips, stories, gear reviews, and more to help you maximize your fishing trip, catch big fish, and overall have fun. Still busy down here, which has been awesome. Now, my regular clients know that my passion for fishing is very authentic, and it shows on the water. Now, before I power up the engine for the fishing grounds, I do a walkthrough with them about safety first, which is a priority. Then I talk about the fishing, and then the bathroom situation. That can be tough sometimes. And last but not least, my excitement level, and what can be mistaken for yelling. Even with regular clients, I still have to explain to them that my level of excitement when we catch or miss a fish can be unlike anything they have ever seen. I love fishing so much that I tend to get a little wired up. I tell them nothing's directed at them. It's all directed at the fish or the gear. I want my client to catch the fish so bad, and sometimes we lose them boat side, and I get a little upset. But it's not at the client. It's just pure offshore sport fishing adrenaline rushing through my brain. Now, getting a 70-pound plus fish into the boat isn't easy. There are a lot of things to consider, and to be honest, teaching someone what a 70-pound wahoo will do when the fish sees the proper bubbles of the boat is something I try to help them through, but something that really takes years of fishing experience for someone to learn, as the fish will do something different each time. Now, I compare it to a quarterback being rushed in all different directions, and the fans yelling and screaming. Oh, gosh. And he still has to see that receiver in all that chaos on the field. And sometimes you have to celebrate those long-distance releases, the AKA Palm Beach release. I just got an email from a client. It's so funny. He said, "Ryan, I'll be there in April. Booked the date for April 2nd. No more Palm Beach releases." It's all good, brother. Now, in conjunction, I still don't work with a mate for a reason, as I want the clients to get the full experience. Now, check out my podcast, episode 009, Lessons Learned from Having a Fishing Mate. Now, it's Wahoo season now, so before we leave the dock, I will ask the client if they want to finish the fish, or do they want me to try and finish him by passing me the rod. The client will either say yes or no. If they say no, I'm 100% hands-free. If they need help, I take over towards the end to help out. It's called sport fishing for a reason. Everyone helps and participates. So it's on me, and if I lose the fish, then you can throw the beer cans or pop cans at me. Well, that's not preferred, actually, but if you feel like it, go ahead. Just like a quarterback, or you can razz me about it. I've got big shoulders. Now, sport fishing has ups and downs, and just like any other sport out there, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Losing sucks, and so does fishing second or third. I like to win, but don't we all? So I wanted to share with you guys one of the first lures I started using when I started my charter business, and it never fails me. The one rig that catches them all, the daisy chain. Daisy chains are extremely popular lures. When I first started my charter fishing business, an old-timer shared this daisy chain rig with me, and since then, the rig always, and I mean always, produces, even on those days when you think the ocean is empty. Now, over the years, I've modified it a bit. I've caught wahoo, tuna, dolphin, and numerous kingfish on tough days. It's my go-to rig when the ocean is flat and it appears the ocean is empty or void of fish. I've also caught sailfish on this rig and numerous yellowtail snappers when I'm trolling around the Bib and the Duane wreck off Key Largo with chum hanging out the back of my boat. Yes, you can catch yellowtail snappers trolling. It's not a secret, so I've been doing it I do it once in a while, but my clients prefer to catch them on, the standard way, chumming and catching them on light tackle, which is more fun than catching them on the troll. Another podcast for another time. So here's my not-so-secret daisy chain. I call it the Good Karma daisy chain. You can call it whatever you want. Name it after yourself. So the materials. So you need 3 hookless teasers, You got to use the Boon dusters, 3-inch pearl duster, silver Mylar, 3/4 ounce baits. So I'm going to put a link in the show notes to the exact lure. The cost is $3.12. And then you're going to need a chase bait with a hook. I'm going to leave the hook up to you guys. I don't like to give hook recommendations. So just size the hook accordingly to the chase bait. Okay, so your chase bait is the Pearl Baby, C&H Pearl Baby, 3/4 ounce. Now, this pearl color has been my go-to color for years. It catches on tough days when I need to put meat in a box. Now, you can also, find this Pearl Baby color. You can have it custom tied. Wild Willie ties them. I've just always used the Pearl Babies because I can just pick them up at Bass Pro because they're easy. It's, cost me a couple of bucks. Now, they cost, the Pearl Babies cost $2.99. And then I'll also have a link on my show notes to the exact Pearl Baby that I use color. And then last but not least, a pack of bait strips. Now, earlier this year, I started adding bait strips to this rig for that extra tail wag and that extra bling bling. Wow. Now, you got to try this rig out with the bait strips. It, pretty much turned my daisy chain into a daisy chain on steroids. I've depleted my actual supply. I've actually depleted my supply of bait strips, so I got to reorder them before the next full moon. So when you rig it with the bait strips, you got to use a double rig number 7 hook. As far as the hook styles, I leave that up to you as far as your brands. And then I highly recommend using an 8-inch bait strip. Now, the bait strips for a pack of 6 cost you $9.99. Highly recommend them. So you can order them on, I've also put a link on my show notes to the exact pack that you need to order. So as far as line goes, so this gets a little tricky when it comes to line. Now, personally, I like to rig with 30 to 40 pound fluorocarbon, and sometimes I'll rig it with 50 or 60. It just really depends on what the tuna fish are doing. I'll even drop down to 25 pound fluorocarbon if need be, if they're really shy, or if there's a lot of boat traffic around. So I'm going to put a photo of my rig in the show notes for you. As far as the terminal rigging goes, I'm going to leave that up to you. I don't like to, put the instructions out there for how to do this because, hey, man, everybody has their own thing. There's plenty of instructions out there, so I encourage you to learn it on your own and all that good stuff. But if you want to know how I do it, you can email me or just give me a call. If I don't return your call, I'll get back to you. I'm probably fishing, so it's been busy. So you're probably thinking, what makes this bait so special, right? I know you are. As I would ask myself that question as well. Well, just rig one and put it in the water on a bright sunny day in your marina before you head out. Then you're going to see the big picture. I won't give up the secret, but I just want you to see it for yourself. Now, why did I just share this lure? Well, truthfully, I had been struggling for years. I'd been struggling. I struggled years ago when I started out down here. It's not super easy. Maybe because of my hair. Maybe because of my haircut and I actually shave. But I was looking hard for a super good bait that produced. And then back then there was no social media or forums. You got your intel from those that were willing to share, and believe me, not many shared. Laughing, I was just at the marina. I asked some guy how he did on the yellowtail today. I knew that they're biting, but I was just trying to be nice. He looked at me and he said, "Oh, I got one for myself and one for you." So those guys are out there. I think it's really funny. I would have thought of a better comeback than that, bro. So, anyways, I still remember this day. A random old timer at Worldwide Sportsman in Islamorada, who's a retired fishing guide, approached me when I was looking at all the expensive Islander lures. He said, "Get away from those and come here. I'm going to save you some money." He walked me over to a little section of cheap lures, and I was kind of like, oh boy, here we go. So he picked out these baits for me and said, "This is what I want. This is what I needed," and then chained them together. I kind of chained them together. What do you mean, chain them together? So he drew me a picture of what the rig needed to look like. Now, he wouldn't show me how to crimp them or how to tie them. He said to learn it on your own, and that I looked smart enough to do it, and I laughed. He doesn't really know me that well. No. Made sense why he never did show me the rigging, as I learned the hard way on my own. Pretty crazy how life works. The rig failed several times on big fish before I got it right. But then I figured it out, and now it's a go-to rig for me. Now, I'd gone back to the store to thank him and showed him the pictures of the big tuna and dolphin we had caught on the rigs, and he was so happy to see that I did well, and it was always cool to see him when I went down there. And sometimes I just would pop in and say hey, and when I bought it, use it as an excuse to pop in and say hey to this guy, and then buy a couple hooks and then leave. I really appreciated what he did for me. Now, that little tip just really got me started and gave me a little bit more confidence that I needed. The gentleman passed away, a couple years ago. It's really weird when I go in there. You kind of look for him still, and it just feels weird that he's gone. But he's always there when I go in my opinion. So, anyways, I'm going to always remember that guy. He took 10 minutes of his time, and he helped me out when I really needed it. You don't see that much of this anymore. Everyone wants cash for the fishing tips and online fishing club secrets. I get the hustle part of making money, but sometimes it's nice to just help someone out. Now, fishing should be fun, let alone it's super competitive nowadays with everybody. The economy's good. Everybody's buying boats and Instagram. It's pretty crazy what I see, but I tell people I just stay in my own lane. I tell people that, email me. I give them the same recommendation. Just do your own thing, brother. Be confident in what you're doing and stay on the path. Anyhow, I think you guys get what I'm trying to say here. Now, all right, that's all I got for the week. Again, check out the show notes for the complete instructions on my Good Karma daisy chain. And I hope you like the little tips and updates. And let me know if you have any questions. You can always email me at goodkarmaryan@gmail.com. I'm going to do a question and answer podcast, so definitely email me. You can also find me on Facebook at Good Karma Fishing Charters, Instagram at goodkarma_FLKeys. And please also share this podcast with a fellow angler and check out my website, goodkarmasportfishing.com, and sign up for the monthly newsletter. I aim to provide you with fishing tips and information so you can make the best out of your time fishing. Thanks for listening, and remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good.